There's a really important distinction between list questions that you want to make sure you're aware of. Take a look at this question on the left. Which of the following could be a complete list of the students assigned to the debate team? And then compare that to the right. Which of the following is a complete list of the students, any one of whom could be assigned to the debate team? Do you see how one of them is asking what could be one potential hypothetical situation? What would work as one hypothetical situation for the debate team? Could you have these people in the debate team at one particular time? Whereas another question is asking for universally across all different possibilities, what's the universal list of the students who could ever go in the debate team? Now, if you've consistently been able to make that kind of distinction and recognize it on real games, then you don't have to worry too much about what's to come in this video. But for a lot of students, they will occasionally confuse one kind of question for the other. And if you find yourself in that category, then make sure you keep watching, because we'll talk about how to tell the difference between these two question types, as well as typical good strategies for solving each question type. Now here I've prepared a sample game. It's a grouping game where we have the group B, D, and F. Let's say this is 2 people being assigned to the basketball team after school, 3 of them assigned to the debate team, and then 2 of them assigned to a flag football team. We have 7 students being assigned, and they're all going to appear exactly once in the game. We're told that Q cannot be assigned to the debate team, and so that's why I've drawn the Q with lines to B or F. We're told that J and K cannot be assigned to the same team. We're told that L must be assigned to the basketball team, so I've drawn that in. And then finally, we're told that if M is assigned to the debate team, then J also has to be assigned to the debate team. Now we get question number 1. Which of the following could be a complete list of the students assigned to the debate team? Now this is asking for one hypothetical list of the students in the debate team. And the way that we can tell is because it's saying which of the following could be a complete list. It's not saying across all possibilities which of the following is a complete list. It's saying which of these could be a complete list at one particular time of the students in the debate team. And here are the strategies that I think about when solving this question. First, the primary strategy should be using the rules to eliminate answers that don't work. This is very similar to that very first question that you often see in a game. You know, the kind where it's just asking which of the following could be the order, which of the following could be the assignment. For those, you generally just use the rules to eliminate, and we should do the same on this question as well. Now, if this first strategy doesn't give us one answer, then the second strategy should just be to test the remaining choices. Throw whatever's in the answer into the debate team, see if it works with all the other rules, and then if it doesn't, it's wrong. If it does, it's correct. As a bonus, sometimes you have prior work, or maybe you split the game into worlds at the start, and sometimes that can show that a particular answer could be true. It's not necessarily the first thing that I'd look at every time, but it is a nice bonus in some situations. So let's go ahead and solve this one. We know that Q cannot be in the debate team, so if we're looking for what could be a complete list in the debate team, any answer that has Q is going to be gone, so D is gone. We also know that L cannot be in the debate team, so any answer that is L, but there's none with L. What about rule number 2? We know J and K can't go together, so that's going to get rid of answer choice C. And another thing I'm noticing here is, do you see that the debate team has 3 people assigned to it? So answer choice A is never going to be a complete list because any complete list is going to have 3 people. Finally, we can take a look at the last rule. If M is in debate, then J has to be in debate, and so that's going to get rid of E, which has M on the debate team, but it doesn't have J, so B is our answer. Now let's try number 2. Which of the following is a complete list of the students, any one of whom could be assigned to the debate team? So that phrase is a complete list. That's the signal to us that it's a universal list question. It's asking across all different possibilities, what is a universal list of all the students who could ever go in debate? Now, the approach that I take for a universal list question is this. First, I'm going to use prior work, or if I have worlds, I want to use those for examples of what is going to be part of the list and what should not be part of the list. Second, I'm going to go back to the rules and just check to see, do any of the rules tell me what should be part of the list or shouldn't be part of the list? Now, if that still doesn't get us down to just one answer, then the third strategy is to test variables that distinguish one answer from another. So if you're left with two answers and they're all the same except one answer has the letter M, for example, then you'd want to test the letter M to see whether that's going to be correct or not. Now, as a bonus, you want to pay attention to logically interchangeable variables. Oftentimes, given the rules of the game, you might have a sense that two variables are basically logically exactly the same, like for example, the O and the P here. There's no rules about the O and the P, so anything that's true about O is also going to be true about P. Recognizing logically interchangeable variables can be helpful for getting rid of answers. So let's go ahead and solve this. We're looking for a list of all the students who could ever go in debate. Well, I know that Q could never go in debate, right? So I'm going to get rid of any answer that has Q. I also know L cannot go in debate. So let's get rid of any answer that has L. Now the rule about J and K is not going to help us here because that just means they can't go in debate at the same time. But that doesn't tell me anything about whether any of them could go in debate as long as the other one's not there. The last rule also is not going to help me right now because that's just triggering if M happens to be in debate, but it doesn't tell me generally whether or not M or J could go in debate. So now let me take a look at these answers. We have JOP, JKMO, and JKMOP. So one thing I'm noticing here is, do you see answer choice B just has O, but it doesn't have P? That's going to tell me that B is not going to be correct, because if O could go in debate, then P would also be able to go in debate because they're logically interchangeable variables. So now we're just down to A versus D, and at this point, it's just really a matter of trying out letter K or trying out letter M. In fact, because there's a rule about what happens if M goes in debate, it's probably the case that M is going to be able to fit in debate. So let's just test that out. If I put M in debate, then we just have to put a J over here. Let's see, we could put a Q over here. We have to keep the K apart from the J, and then the final two letters would just be O or P. So this is something that does work. That proves M can go in debate, and so that means D is going to be our answer, not A. So if you're ever having trouble distinguishing one hypothetical list questions from universal list questions, remember, when it says what could be a complete list, they're asking in one particular instance, in one particular hypothetical, could this be how it's arranged? Whereas if the question is asking which of the following is a complete list, then they're asking for a universal list across all different possibilities.